Hello everyone. Welcome to Toddle AI Live. Thank you for joining us today. We'll just give it a couple of minutes for more people to join in. And as we wait, we would love to hear where you are joining from. So we would love it if you could type your name and where you are joining from in the chat here. I'll also go first. I've realized a trend that these days on Zoom calls, there are more note takers and people who end up joining in, right? That's Hey, hi Rachel. Hi Ryan from Hong Kong. Hi Bob. Lots of familiar names here. Hi Raghu from Neve. Hey Jake. Yeah, awesome. We see a lot of familiar names here who have joined in today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll also do quick round of introductions for all the faces that you see on the screen here, and I can go first. I'm Dipanshu. I've been an educator for over a decade, and I'm also one of the co-founders and the CEO at Toddle. I'm joined by my amazing colleague Nick Swan here. Nick, over to you.
Thanks, Dipanshu. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm joining you from Melbourne, Australia. I've been in EdTech now for over 10 years and to be glad to have joined Toddle at the beginning of this year. It's been a great ride so far.
Thanks, Nick.
Ian, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'm just slightly north of Nick. I'm in Sydney, Australia. I'm currently the Deputy Head of Innovative Futures at Knox Grammar Preparatory School. And I have been in the EdTech space for about 20 years, but have certainly enjoyed all things Toddle in the last 3 to 4 years. Absolutely amazing space to be working.
Thanks, Ian.
I'm going to head over to Kevin.
Thanks, Ian. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Alburo. I'm originally from the Philippines, taught in Thailand and now Vietnam. I'm currently the MYP coordinator at the European International School. So it's our first week back with all the kids. So if I start rambling, just blame it on the back to school chaos. On to Adam.
All of us are in the same boat, Kevin.
Hi, I'm Adam Fell. I am at the Canadian International School of Hefei. This is my 6th year here. I am a grade 4 homeroom teacher and also the EY and PYP educational technology lead, which it is my 3rd year being in here. And when my school started Toddle, I started Toddle, and I was a very quick adopter and champion of Toddle at my school.
Amazing. Thanks, Adam. Great. So the focus of today's session is our work with AI. In our last demo day, which was held in March, almost 5 months back, we had announced a bold set of upgrades to the AI capabilities on the Toddle platform, and I'm excited to be showcasing those to you. In fact, I'll be walking you through all the AI capabilities that Toddle offers today so that you can form a holistic, coherent picture of how those work together and can potentially have a transformative impact on your teaching and learning practice. Just before this session, I was going through the event registration data, and I know that a lot of you are not familiar with Toddle. So I'll just start by giving you a quick background. At Toddle, we are a team of educators. Toddle started as a passion project for us in our own school. So this right here is Toddle's birthplace. This is where we started building it out. And the reason we started building Toddle was we as a team were not really happy with the tech tools that we were using. It was a frustrating experience. And the primary driver behind that frustration was that we had to use too many different tools to manage our own teaching and learning workflows. To give you a sense, we were using one platform for curriculum planning, another for portfolios, another for assignments, another for report cards and family communications. It was kind of messy for our teachers to straddle between so many different things. And we thought, let's build something which will bring all of these different workflows for a teacher together in a meaningful way. That's how Toddle really started for us, which was to solve for our own pain point. And what started as a passion project in this school has now grown into a platform that is used by 2,000 plus leading schools across 100 plus countries. The journey over the last 6 years has been really, really gratifying for us. We are super grateful to all of you who have been a part of this journey. Your feedback has helped shape Toddle every step of the way. So thank you. Thanks to all of you for being a part of this journey. At Toddle, our reason of existence, our big, hairy, audacious goal, our North Star is that we want to give each teacher 10 additional hours every week while helping elevate your practice. And why is this goal important? All of you will associate with this, but I'm just quoting a study here, a piece of research that was done. So McKinsey and Company, which is a management consulting firm, they conducted a pretty large study across some 30 countries in the years 2019-20. And what that study found was really revealing, which is that teachers work 50 hours a week, but less than half that time is actually spent in direct interaction with students. And this is on the chart. You can see the different areas where teachers end up spending their time on usually. And we believe that this is not how it should be. Technology, especially AI, can play a big role in solving for this. And that's why the big, hairy, audacious goal for us. We are doing three things to achieve our BHAG. First is that we are building Toddle as a unified platform for all your teaching and learning workflows. So you don't have to keep switching between 5 different tools to just go through your day. The second thing that we are doing is we are integrating AI in a deep way across all of our teacher workflows so that you can work uh, faster, smarter, better, and with more confidence. We are very bullish on the potential of AI as a technology for teachers and really excited to be showing you everything that we have built today. And the third thing that we are doing is that we are building a strong ecosystem of integrations around Toddle so that Toddle works well with the other tools that you might be using in your school. The focus of today's session is our work with AI. That's what we will be focusing on today. There are three design principles that really guide our work with AI. So before talking about the tools, I'll talk about the principles that guide us. The first one is that we believe AI will be at its most powerful when it is seamlessly embedded into teacher workflows. When it works on your data and your context, when it is something that is not extra, when it is embedded within the workflow platform that you are using on a day-to-day basis. That's our first design principle. The second one is that AI will earn teachers' trust only when it supports them with reliable, high quality output on their terms and under their control. 2 years back, almost 3 years back, actually, now when ChatGPT first came out, it seemed magical to all of us that we typed in something and the AI was responding and really generating content as we were talking to it. In the initial days, just that generation bit felt magical, but now over the last 2.5, 3 years, technology has progressed a lot. And anyone who is using AI expects that the quality of output is reliable and they be able to control that output on their terms and under their control. So this is something that we focus on a lot at Toddle. And third is that schools will embrace AI at scale only when it meets the highest bar for security and privacy. Platforms like ours, we handle the most sensitive data out there, which is student data. And without having the highest standards for security and privacy, this just doesn't work. So these are the three design principles that underlie our work with AI. And using these design principles, we have designed 5 really powerful tools, which is what I'll be walking you through today. First is the curriculum design assistant, which is there to help you at every stage of your curriculum planning journey, whether you are planning courses, units, or lesson. Second is AI Tutors, which helps make learning more immersive and personalized than it was ever possible before. Third is Assessment Builder, which helps teachers generate high quality, authentic assessments in a matter of minutes. Fourth is our Grading Assistant, which we'll be showcasing for the first time today. This Grading Assistant is designed to cut down the grading time by more than half. And the fifth one is the Reports Writing Assistant. Together, these tools form the most powerful AI suite for K-12 schools built by anyone in the world. And I'm excited to be walking you through all of this. So with that context, I'll stop sharing this presentation here and I'll go to the Toddle platform. Can you see the Toddle platform? Yeah. Awesome. So I'll start with the curriculum design assistant. And here I'm in a grade 8 class. And the curriculum planning capabilities of Toddle AI was so far limited to just lesson planning. But let me now show you how Toddle AI can actually help you create really high quality unit plans and unit flows and pretty much everything that you want to build using it. So I'm going to go to create here. You can use the curriculum planning assistant for designing any type of unit, whether it's an interdisciplinary unit or a subject specific unit. In this case, I'm going to create a subject specific unit here. And I'm going to just 1 second. And I'm going to say, help me design a unit using the understanding by design framework, where my students explore the Newton's laws of motion in fun and interesting ways. I want learning in the unit to be really hands-on, fun, interesting, so that the understandings that my students build is really deep. So help me design this unit. And I've given my voice prompt here. To give it some more direction, I'm going to select a subject here that this is a science and technology unit. And now I'll just press enter here. What we are doing, and this you will see happen all across Toddle, is that we are making it more and more speech first. At least personally, what I've seen is my interactions with AI are becoming more and more speech first. So we are integrating speech pretty much everywhere across the Toddle platform. Now, the way we have built this curriculum design assistant is that it is not going to just give you answers straight up. So if because I asked it to design a unit, I asked it to help me design a unit, it's not going to just give me an answer that, hey, here is your unit. The way we have built it is that it's going to be a real thought partner to you, just like your co-teacher would. And this is a really expert co-teacher that you have access to all the time. So let's just go through what's the output that it has created. It's wonderful that you want your grade 8 students to explore Newton's laws through fun, hands-on, and meaningful experiences. Before we dive into the unit, let's clarify our goals and vision a bit more so we can build a unit that's truly memorable and effective. A few questions to get started. What are the key focus areas? Are there particular aspects of Newton's laws you want to emphasize? For example, exploring why objects move the way they do, how seatbelt works, or what happens in sports and everyday life. Do you have specific activities or type of projects in mind? Would you like to use more group work, student-led investigations, use of technology, or perhaps a culminating design challenge? So the way we have designed this is that at every stage of the planner, whenever you ask it to do something, it will first ask you questions, and it will also give you suggestions from its side. So I'm just going to say that I want to focus on all three laws. In my own personal experience, I have felt that the first and the third law are more naturally understood through experiments. So maybe we want to do a lot of experiments there. I want there to be a lot of hands-on activities. And in terms of the classroom approach, I want there to be a lot of student-led investigations, some use of technology as well. And yes, I would definitely want a culminating design challenge. And the design challenge that I want is maybe students create a video which captures their understanding of all three laws of motion. So something like that. Again, if you see, I'm talking to it just like I would talk to a human teacher who is sitting next to me. We are brainstorming with each other. And this is the text that it has generated based on my transcription. And now I'll just press enter here. You can be one of the things that we have realized AI is really good at is giving structure to your unstructured thoughts. So you can have your stream of consciousness come out while you are interacting with the AI, and it'll get what you mean and it'll convert it into meaningful output. So now it says, thanks for sharing your vision. This sounds like an engaging, memorable unit. Here's how I'll help you move forward. We'll start by selecting the most relevant subject standards and skills for science and technology in grade 8. Then we'll draft transfer goals. After that, we'll craft big picture understandings and essential questions to keep inquiry alive throughout the unit. So the way this is programmed is that as you keep interacting with it, it'll also keep taking you to the next steps in the unit planning process. So next step, standards and skills. I'll now gather the official science and technology standards and skills options for this grade level. Once I have them, I'll suggest the ones that best align with this. So now what it has done is it has actually recommended the subject standards. This is coming from your context. So whatever subject standards I have loaded onto this school for this class, it has gone through that list, selected the most relevant subject standards, selected the most relevant skills. When I'm actually doing it, I would not just accept it, but given that this is a live video demo with almost 500, 600 people here, I'm not going to waste all of your time. And I just want to say that, yes, I want to go ahead with your recommendations for the standards and skills. And then let's move to drafting the transfer goals and understandings. So again, I gave that voice input. And now what it is going to do, and I find this really, really cool, is that it will add those things to your unit as well. So it's not just, you're not just interacting with it here. The AI is also taking action on your behalf here. So what has happened now is I said that I want to go ahead with your recommendations. If I click on subject standards here, you would see that it has already added those subject standards that it had recommended in the unit. If I click on skills, those skills that were selected here in the chat have also been added here. So we feel that this sort of interaction is going to be the future, where you ask the AI to do something. It's not just generating ideas, but it is also taking actions for you on the platform. Now, because I said it has gone ahead to draft the transfer goals and enduring understandings, you will see how this works now. I'm going to say, I like these transfer goals and understandings. Can you add them to the unit? So I've asked it to add it to the unit. And again, what will happen here is that the transfer goals will get added here and the understandings will get added here. So this is how it just works. So we believe that something like this makes this way of teaching and learning, which is truly inquiry based, accessible to everyone. For teachers who are new to frameworks like this, it just helps them get a really good thought partner. And for teachers who are already really advanced in their understanding, it helps them increase their speed and efficiency as they're doing this. So the example that I was showing you so far was me creating a new unit using the unit planning assistant. But maybe what will be a more relevant use case for a lot of people is modifying your existing content with a really good thought partner. So here I have this example, which is an ancient civilizations unit, which I did with my class last year. And I can also modify this using the assistant. So maybe I say something like, I taught this unit last year in my class. It went well. But this year, I want my students to think more critically about how ancient systems still influence our lives today. Can you help me redraft the transfer goals, the understandings, and the essential questions basis this? So I have asked it for something very specific. What it will do now is that it will read the entire unit end to end. Based on what I have said, it will now give me recommendations. So you can ask it for very, very broad changes to be made in the unit, or you can ask for very specific changes to be made in the unit as well. For example, if you're in the MYP and Kevin, like in your case, you can ask that, can you help me draft this statement of inquiry in a more meaningful way. So we have actually trained it on all of these progressive curricula, the kind of curricula that the schools that we work with use. So in PYP, you can ask it that, can you help me draft my central idea better, and so on and so forth. So in this case, it has just gone ahead and given me the new transfer goals, understandings, and essential questions. If I like it, I can use them. Or if I don't like it, like in this case, I can say, I'm not really liking this. Can you give me more options? I forgot to mention it earlier, but this time around, when I'm talking about critical thinking, I want to focus the entire unit on just one aspect, which is maybe science and engineering. And I want my students to think about how the roads and transport systems of past civilizations still influence the kind of roads and the transport systems that we have in today's world. So now I forgot to give it some context. Now I've given it some more context. So with that in mind, it will just go ahead and redraft all the transfer goals, understandings, and essential questions. And now it is giving me multiple options of what I could be doing here. So this is how you can use our curriculum design assistant to work on your planners. What we have also done is trained it a lot on generating high quality unit flow. So right now we are talking about it at a planner level. Now let's get focused on how a particular unit gets translated into what happens in a class. So help me design the unit flow for this unit. So now again, it's going to think and go through the entire unit's context and come up with what could a potential week by week flow look like for this unit. A lot of times what happens is that it'll ask you questions. So in this case, for example, it has said, before we map out the week by week flow, I'd love to clarify a few things to make sure this unit truly matches your vision. What's most important to you about the student experience during this unit? For example, is your priority student-driven inquiry, high quality art/writing products, or historical thinking and analysis? How do you envision the exhibition day? Are there any specific must-do activities or constraints that we should plan around? I'm currently based in Singapore, so if we can have some local elements also built into the unit design, that will be helpful. Uh, my vision for the exhibition day is that it would be a large gathering where we will have all of our parents come in and see what the student work that has happened during the course of the unit. Help me draft the week 1 flow. So I've given it all the context. I did not answer the questions very well that it was asking me, since it's a live demo, but now it's starting to give me a vivid picture of week 1. How could the week 1 unfold? What are the different sort of activities that will happen in week 1 based on what I have described? And again, you don't have to accept any of this as an output. You can keep going back and forth, changing the output. I like what you have suggested. Let's just go ahead and draft the week 1 in depth. Now again, it'll think through the process. And now what it is doing is it's actually creating the learning experiences, the formative assessments, everything that you would need for the week 1 of the unit. And once it has created it, I will just say, I like this. Let's add it to the unit flow, and then let's go and draft the plan for weeks 2 to 6. Assuming that I like this, I have done this, and what it will now do is that it will add this to the unit here, and then I can start working with it just like I would work with any learning experience or formative assessment or any other entity that I have created on my own. Are there any questions, thoughts here, Nick, that we should look at while this is getting created? Okay, it's created now.
There's plenty of questions around we were just answering, if there's existing unit plans, how does this fit in? We were talking about, we were just discussing as part of our service to Toddle, we help you onboard all of that data for you. But there's a really important feature in that curriculum design assistant where you can actually attach some of the files that you may have already as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I didn't mention here. So this works on any attachments that you might have. You can also generate unit plans in any language that you might want to. 50 plus languages are supported here. Thanks for bringing that up, Nick. So now, based on the interactions that I had, it has created this flow. And if I click on any of these LEs, learning experience, now what it will do is it has actually just brought me to the learning experience creation page. All the context that was there has been transferred here now. And if I just press enter here, assuming that I'm liking this, it will now create the in-depth lesson plan for me that I could actually just start using in my class. It has taken into account the fact that I was talking about Singapore, and everything is created with that aspect. So each and every conversation, all the context that exists for the unit is passed to this, and then based on that, the AI actually creates that output. So if you see, I started from a unit plan, went to defining the unit flow, and now it is also assisting me in creating these lessons. I wouldn't say that it is perfect, like it will create 100% output. That's not even the intent. The intent is really to give you a thoughtful assistant that you could be working with. So that was a quick demo of our curriculum design assistant. Before I move to the next tool, which is AI Tutors, Kevin, I had a question for you. I know you and your team have been using Toddle AI very extensively for lesson planning. Maybe if you could talk about some of the examples of how you and your teachers are using it day to day, and what kind of impact are you seeing because of it. I'll maybe stop sharing my screen, but so that people can see you.
Thanks, Dipanshu. So the examples that you gave were great. I think that's mainly how we use Toddle AI for unit planning as well. So mainly focus on the impact and how it's really helping our teams. And I think I could share that in two different categories. I think Penny in the group chat or in the chat nailed it when she said it would be really helpful for new IB teachers. So I speak on behalf of IB schools. When you create unit plans, it can be very challenging because, again, you have to consider a stem of inquiry, your key concepts, related concepts, your objectives, your learner profile, your ATL skills. There's just so many components that you have to consider. And it can be challenging for new teachers to create those units from scratch. So having Toddle AI contextualizing unit designs, given all of those different elements, it makes it a lot more easier for new teachers. And another view of that as well is for experienced teachers. So we have teachers here that have been teaching at EIS for over 5 years and have been using the same units because they're just comfortable with it. And having Toddle AI just gives them that different perspective, a different take on the units. It's helpful for creating templates. I've used it before where I did a fitness unit, and it just, when I've used Toddle AI, it gave me suggestions like, do you want to do an individual task? Do you want to do a group project? So there's that. I think one thing that's really helpful as well with Toddle AI is it gives you opportunities to scaffold tasks, which is great for if you have a lot of students. It can be very challenging for teachers to create those differentiated activities. The unit flow is amazing. You just have to really use that in terms of your own judgment. And I think you nailed it when you said that, yes, it is a support for teachers. By the end of the day, what's important is that Toddle AI still gives the teacher the power, the ownership of that unit. And I think that's what's important in terms of these units.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. That actually is very fundamental to our design process, that nowhere in the platform should it feel like that the AI is actually um, becoming the overwhelming controller of the process. It's the teacher that is actually always in control. Thanks for that, Kevin. I'll now move to AI tutors, and just create a new one here. So we actually launched the first version of the AI tutors in December last year. So it's been 8 months, and it has become one of the most popular tools that we have ever built. We have not seen usage for any other feature in our whole platform the way we have seen it for these AI Tutors. So we are also investing a lot in continuously improving it. For those of you who are unfamiliar, what is an AI tutor? An AI tutor is like a custom chatbot that you can create for a specific purpose. This chatbot then, your students then interact with this chatbot, and this chatbot then surfaces important insights to you, both at the student level and at the class level. Let me show you what it actually looks like. So, given that we were just in the context of a civilizations unit, I'm going to say create a tutor that role plays as a pharaoh from Egypt, an expert in pyramids design, to help students understand how and why pyramids were built. So, just with that broad guidance, what the AI is now going to do is that it is going to create this chatbot. So, let's see what it is creating. So, it says the description of the tutor is step into ancient Egypt and become a royal architect. Join Pharaoh Khufu as you explore the fascinating world of pyramid construction, discover the secrets behind these monumental structures, unravel the mysteries, and so on. And here is the opening message that the students will see, which is greetings, young architect. I am Pharaoh Khufu, and I seek your help in designing the greatest pyramid ever built. Shall we begin by discussing what you know about the shape of pyramids? So that's really the tutor that has gotten generated. Here, what you can do, and this is something that we built based on some feedback from our initial users, is that you can see one, you can play with the tutor yourself in the play mode just to see what the student experience is going to look like. There's another view here if you want to really see the student experience, just that it would look like. So you can click on that button and see the experience there. But then what we can also do is you can simulate conversations at different levels of proficiency. So if I click on beginning here, it will show me what a sample conversation between the tutor and the student is going to look like, a student who is at the beginning level. I can do a similar thing with emerging, developing, mastery as well. And now, if I'm not liking these conversations or there are some things that I want to really fine tune, I can just go to configure and I can change each and every aspect of this tutor. I can change the tutor overview, the opening message that the students will see. I can even change the analysis scale that the AI will use to evaluate the conversations happening between this tutor and the students. I can add resources to make it more directed. I can add specific learning goals. I can change the language of the tutor. We see people creating tutors in all different languages. I can also change the helpfulness level of the tutor. This is something that teachers find really useful, which is that you can keep the helpfulness level to a maximum. So the tutor will provide frequent help, and you can also keep it to minimal, where the tutor will provide minimal help, never giving the answers, letting the student work independently. So it really allows you to do differentiation and personalization in ways that was not really possible before. And you can configure the rules of the tutor as well. So this is how you go about creating a tutor. I just showed you a social science or a social studies example here, really. But it's a very diverse tool, and we have seen teachers use it in very interesting ways across different subject areas. So here I have another example. This is a math example, and this is created by someone like me who is maybe a Potterhead, and the teacher has created this particular tutor to help students practice fractions in the context of magical potions, right? So you can be very imaginative with the way you create your tutors. And the way we have designed this on the back end under the hood is that the tutor will typically never give answers until unless the student is really stuck. The tutor will never give answers. It will give, like, it's really Socratic in nature, so it'll help students build their own thinking. It will also help generate graphs, diagrams, to help students get a better understanding if there are certain misconceptions. And this is also multimodal. So the way this works is that, say, if as a student I just do something on a piece of paper, I click a picture and I share it, the AI will actually be able to read that picture and interact with the student basis the picture that was shared. So it's really multimodal, and you can be interacting with it in any modality that you want. So this is an example of how a student would typically interact. This also helps students get real-time feedback. So as a student, if this is my session and I press end session, what it will do is that it will actually analyze the whole conversation and give me feedback on my interaction with it right then and there. So as a student, I can also choose to again interact with the tutor. I would have understood what are the strengths I demonstrated, what are my areas of improvement, and also next steps. And to make it really, really focused so that it is not hallucinating, it is not coming up with strengths and areas of improvement which are not real. What we have done is that if you see these different strengths that have been highlighted, if I click on any of them, it will actually show me where in the chat did I demonstrate that strength or area of improvement. So it's really focused and helps teachers and students get very actionable, specific feedback. So this is the student view of the tutor. As a teacher, now imagine you're a teacher, you have assigned this to your students, now all your students have interacted with it. The teachers then get a view like this, where you will be able to go into any of the students. So these are the 4 students in my class. I go here and I'm able to see the entire chat that the student had with the tutor. And the similar analysis is also presented to me here. What are the individual student strengths? What are areas of improvement? And what are the potential next steps for a student? This is at a student level. This information also gets abstracted at the class level. So say if you have 20 students in your class, the AI will actually go and create this class level summary where you will be able to understand what are the strengths that your class demonstrated, what are the areas of improvement, and what are the next steps. And the feedback that we have heard from some of our power users on this is that it just helps them plan their future instruction in such meaningful ways that they teach a particular topic, they create a tutor which assesses student understanding on that topic, and then it gives them feedback on what the students have understood and not understood, which really helps them with the future instruction. So this was, I showed you a social science example, a math example. Like I was saying, it's saying it's a very versatile tool. This is computer science is another subject, and Ian will be talking about that, and he has used it very extensively with his students. But we have a built-in code editor in the tutor, and we have seen computer science teachers use it in very interesting ways. So in this case, this particular teacher just taught functions, the fundamentals of functions to his class, and now he has created this tutor which gives students different functions, and the students are expected to tell them to answer with what the function of that tutor is. And it just will keep generating harder and harder functions as you go down this chart. So it'll start with basic functions and just keep going deeper and deeper into the same area. Another area where we have seen AI tutors work really well is with foreign languages. And we have seen teachers use it in a lot of interesting ways. And there's also voice enabled. So if I press this,
नमस्ते, हमारे रंग बिरंगे बाजार में आपका स्वागत है। आज आप क्या खरीदना चाहेंगे? क्या आप सब्जियों की दुकान से शुरुआत करना चाहेंगे?
so this is a tutor that has been designed to help students practice beginner level Hindi, and I created it in Hindi because English and Hindi are really the only two two languages that I know, and I wanted to showcase it during this session. So I want to say, हाँ मैं कुछ फल और सब्जियां खरीदना चाहता हूँ. So it has done a pretty okay, like I would say a 90% job of transliterating whatever I said. And now I can just keep having this interaction. So very, very powerful for teachers who are foreign language teachers. Maybe students are at a beginner level of understanding of the language. So that's something we see teachers do all the time. So this was about AI tutors. Before I move to the next one, I would love to bring in Ian, who has been using AI tutors extensively with his students. Ian actually shared a very, very powerful video with us a couple of months back, which was of one of his students, Flynn, playing with the AI tutors. So Ian, would love to hear about your experience and what sort of impact have you seen with student learning. So something like AI tutors. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dipanshu. So I think the goal from the outset with us piloting AI tutors in our environment, we're a K-6 campus. and obviously cognizant of the age requirements of platforms that are out in the wider world. We were specifically looking for a tool that was, guardrails, everything was in place in terms of the work that the boys would be doing. Our students are a boys only campus, but making sure that they make those wise choices in the conversations that they have. And as was mentioned before, we get automatic notifications of any kind of conversations that need to be flagged with their staff. They actually get a bump message immediately as that conversation is happening, and there's full transparency afterwards of everything that's evidenced in the conversations. The most important thing for us really with the work we were doing is our staff understanding that at no point were they abrogating their responsibility to the AI. Every time you use an AI tutor, it actually gives you a task back. So what are you going to be doing with the information that you're provided? And as Dipanshu said, you get a really, really rich synopsis of each individual student's journey through a particular AI conversation, but also that it evidences really where the students are at across groupings within your classes. So we've been piloting it with some of our year one students. We're a one-to-one iPad school, but those boys, their typing speed or their writing speed doesn't match their creative writing and what they're actually doing. So they are able to have a verbal conversation where they're actually, they're talking through their ideas for their story writing, and they're actually getting feedback at the time, which then the teacher is able to evidence that later, which is really, really rich. As Dipanshu said, we've been using it right up with we have an elective where our boys have been doing Japanese for a number of years. And so we've given them the option of doing coding languages with Python, HTML, and JavaScript. Now, if you've got 26 boys that are highly agile learners and trying to differentiate your classroom instruction for the range of needs that provides, it's a very, very interesting and dynamic environment. So in the context of Flynn's video, we've got a student there who's highly verbal. So he's able to, explain his ideas. He's able to submit text and code. He's able to copy over from code editors. But it was the Socratic method that we use with the boys. It will never give them an answer. It will always prompt them to develop their own understandings, which is the critical thing from our side of things. And I can say, right across, we have specialist subject teachers. We have a drama teacher yesterday who came up to me saying that he was using it for his monologue writing about political speeches and looking for different kind of methodologies. We have language teachers. So it's something that's really being incredibly engaging in our environment.
Amazing. Thanks, Ian. And if I could ask the Toddle team members who are here, if you could drop the link to that video. I have posted it on LinkedIn. If you could maybe drop that LinkedIn post, would love for people to see how Flynn has been using Toddle's AI tutors. Thanks for that, Ian. We also have some really exciting news for those of you who are power users of our AI tutors. We are working. We have also got a lot of feedback on how we can make it more powerful, and we are working on the next version of it, where we will be having interactive modalities like videos, whiteboard, even code in a more interactive way, quizzes. All of this will become live in the next 4 to 5 months. This is something that we are working on. Very excited about it. We're also giving you a lot of smarter creation tools and an integrated evaluation that connects tutor feedback back to your gradebook and report. So the flow of data becomes even more seamless than what it is right now. And I'm excited for all of you to play with it and share your feedback with it. Great. So that was about AI tutors. Now I'll move to our next tool, which is the assessment builder. We have been working on this a lot over the last few months, and we have created a fully revamped version of our module that we call worksheets. So now if I go to create a new worksheet, I get 4 starting points. I can create with Toddle AI. I can extract from docs and forms. AI actually does the extraction. I can import from Toddle library. We have a large library of questions available for a lot of grades, or I can create one from scratch. So for the purpose of today's session, I'm going to focus on 1 and 2 here, which is creating with Toddle AI and extracting from docs and forms. And just to show you how powerful we have been able to make it, I am just going to ask it to create questions at the IB diploma program level, because that's really hard to do for AI, but we have trained it really well in being able to do this. So I'm going to say start creating worksheet. And in terms of instructions, I'm just going to say that, again, I'm going to use voice, Design IBDP exam style questions for the given subject in the format of paper 1 HL. Use excerpts from The Bell Jar and Phenomenal Woman. It again picked up. I said I'm going to use voice, so it picked up that as well. I'm going to remove that. Now here you can add resources. So any resources like a YouTube video or any file that you might have that you want the AI to use as a reference. You can add question types on your own, or the AI is also smart enough to figure out what type of questions should be there for what purpose. You can define number of questions. It can be auto, or you can actually manually define it. In this case, I'm going to say generate 5 questions. And you can specify the specific learning outcomes that you want to address using that particular assessment. With that context, you can just say generate questions. And the first thing that it does is it analyzes all of the requirements that you would have put. So in this case, I have said that help me create a paper one type question, paper one type questions. So it will first create a plan as to how it's going to do that, and then it will work out the questions. One thing that you will notice, and this is actually by design, is that at a lot of places we have added a lot of thinking loops for our AI. So you might feel that it is working slow. Like in this case, it maybe took like 25, 30 seconds to generate that output. But this is something that we have been very, very conscious about, that AI should focus on creating high quality output. We have optimized more for quality than speed at a lot of places. Now that we have gotten quality right at most of the places, we will also be optimizing further for speed. But here, if you see, it is now generating the 5 questions that I asked it to. Now, once this is created, this is a DP practice test. These are the different questions. This is the excerpt. This is now the question. And what you can do is, once this question is created, you can then think of this like a first version. You can then further work with the AI to actually modify that question. I can ask it to uh, make generate more similar questions, include real world example, convert question type, even add an assessment tool. So for example, I might say that I want to generate a rubric for this task. So it's not practically what you would do in a DP exam, but in this case, just to show you the capability, I asked it to generate a rubric. Now what it has done is it is actually generating a rubric for that particular question. So something that we believe is going to be really powerful, especially for middle school and high school teachers. So this was one example where I actually created it from scratch. I want to show you another example of our worksheets, which is where I want to extract. Actually, since it's the same one, let me first discard this. Now this, create new worksheet, and I'll say Korean exam. Okay. And I've chosen Korean here because it's hard to extract Korean given the script, and extract from docs forms. And now once I press on start creating worksheet, I can tell it what specific file that I want to import from. This is the file that I have shared, which is Korean, a worksheet here. And I will just press extract questions just to show you as it is extracting questions. This is the file that I have given it. So this is the file that it is working on. And now what it is doing is that it has actually extracted all the questions from this particular file. And now it is in a Toddle format. You can just directly digitally assign it to your students, and again, work with this to work with AI to again change these questions, modify these questions as you might want to. You can import any sort of file, whether it be a doc, a PDF, a Google Doc, as long as it's linked to your account. It'll work on all of those different formats. So something that we believe, like I said, will be very powerful for middle school, high school teachers in creating high quality, authentic assessments in record time. The next thing that I want to talk about is again, I feel that this is going to be one of the most powerful tools for teachers, which is our AI grading assistant. Before I talk about what the AI grading assistant is and show it to you in action, I just want to reiterate why we have built this. Like going back to the McKinsey study that I referenced earlier, if you see here, 6.5 hours of teacher time every week is spent on evaluation and feedback. And can we help them? Can we help teachers use that time better? That was really the prompt for us. And the reason why we have built a grading assistant on Toddle is that one, it can obviously help teachers save time. Second is consistency. There is a lot of research on the topic that different teachers grading the same paper would tend to grade it differently. Even the same teacher, I came across really interesting research that even the same teacher, depending on their mood at that particular point in time, can actually tend to grade the same the the same piece of work very differently. So we believe that AI can actually add a lot of consistency to the process and help teachers provide detailed personalized feedback that was not really possible before. So pretty excited about the possibilities that it entails. The way we have designed it is that AI assisted grading on Toddle will work with all types of assessment tools, whether you're using rubrics, checklists, single point rubrics, score based evaluation, any sort of assessment tool that you might be using. It works with all of these submission formats. So whether students are submitting their work on in Google files, Microsoft files, presentations, images, PDFs, docs, graphs, Toddle workbook, all what it currently doesn't support, and that's something that we are working on, is that it doesn't yet work on video submissions and it doesn't yet work on audio submissions. So those are the two file types that are not supported with AI grading. That's something that we are hoping to build over time. Before I show you what it looks like, just to help you better visualize what is happening behind the scenes so that you know what the AI is really doing. The AI assisted grading workflow on Toddle is broadly divided into two parts. The first part is creating an evaluation guide. So whenever you design an assignment and you enable AI evaluation on that particular assignment, the choice is always yours. You can choose to use AI or not use AI while evaluating an assignment. But whenever you toggle that option on, what the AI will do is that it will first create an evaluation guide. So it will fully understand the context of the assignment, the instructions that you might have given, any resources that you might have added, the assessment tool that you would have created. It will go through all of this. And here, this is an acronym that I drafted a few days back, which is QIQO. This is the opposite of GIGO. Anyone working in computer science would know GIGO is garbage in, garbage out. Here it is quality in, quality out. So as long as your assignment is defined very well, the instructions are clear, the assessment tool is clear, the AI will be able to analyze it very well. Once it analyzes it, the AI actually drafts a baseline solution. If it is a deterministic assignment, for example, it's a set of math questions, then the AI will actually draft the exact solution. If it is a non-deterministic, like for example, write an essay on democracy, or like the example that I will show you right now, what the AI will do is it will first create a flexible outline. In deterministic cases, it's actually determining figuring out the exact solution. In non-deterministic cases, it is creating a flexible outline. And then based on this understanding and drafting of the baseline solution, the AI actually creates a evaluation guide. So that's the process that happens in the backend the moment you press send on an assignment. Now, when each student's work comes in, the AI converts all of that work into images and then reads the submissions. It refers to the evaluation guide that was created here in step one, and then finally it does the evaluation. We have been doing some internal benchmarking on this. We are very happy with the kind of evaluation that AI is able to do, and that is why we are releasing it in beta right now. So with that context, let me just show you what it actually looks like. Um, Now here I have an assignment, which is Greek ideas of democracy and their influence over the centuries. And the students have been asked to write a research essay in which they investigate a particular research question, which is how did Greek concepts of equal speech and frank speech frame civic participation? And how are these ideals invoked in contemporary deliberative practices? So that's what the student had to write about. If you see in this case, what the teacher has done is that the teacher has given very clear instructions that what is the teacher expecting in the form of output. This is the assignment. Now, after the student has submitted their work, and if you have turned on the AI evaluation, what you will see when you go to the student work is the AI evaluation already done, when the student work has come to you. Now here the AI evaluation, the way we have designed it is that AI evaluations are denoted by dots. So these outlines are dotted here, and you will be able to see that this is the AI evaluation. So in this case, the AI has evaluated this particular student as exemplary on knowledge and understanding of research question. The assessment tool here was a rubric. And for each part, the way we have built it is that in each part, the AI will also give you the reasoning why the AI has evaluated that particular student's assignment in a certain way. So in this case, if this was exemplary, what's the reasoning behind it? If on this particular one, the AI has rated the student as accomplished, what's the reasoning behind it? What's the reasoning behind it? And then finally, what the AI also does is that if you have asked it to do, is that it can actually generate the final comment, highlighting the strengths and areas of improvement for that particular student for that particular assignment. So this was an example where you had a research essay and a rubric as an assessment tool. The second example here that I want to show you is this one, which is a math practice paper. Imagine you assign this to your students, and now the students are submitting their work against this, and the assessment tool you are using here is score, which is you are doing score based evaluation here. Now, if I go to a student's response, this student has done the work with hand and submitted this image. The AI has actually read all of this, the student's work entirely, and then also graded the work here, which is 81 out of 89. Now, if you want, you can approve this. If you want, you can change it. If you want, you can ask the AI to evaluate again. So all the flexibility is there available to the teachers. But again, if you see it's scored 81 out of 89, it's actually given question by question breakup. Question 1, 7 by 7, all parts were correctly solved with clear working. Question 3, the student lost 1 mark for incorrectly stating the number of terms in the expansion. So it's very, very detailed. We have made sure from our end that it is doing thorough evaluation. Another example that I would like to show you here is that this is for osmosis, and the students were asked to create a presentation as a part of their output. Because the AI, the way we have built the algorithm is that because it's converting everything into images, even for things like presentations and all, the AI is able to go through. This is the student output. The assessment tool here is a checklist, and this is the evaluation that the AI has done. I can read the AI reasoning, the logic. If I don't like it, I can say no. I can change my evaluation as well. If I like it, I can just accept the AI evaluation and keep going through this. So this is what we have built in the current version for AI assisted grading. We tested this out with a few teachers, and one feedback that a lot of teachers had for us was that currently the feedback is not being given in line. And so that's the next version that we are working on, which again will be released in the next few months, where, sorry. So we are building something called Toddle Docs, where students will be able to submit their essay type of responses within Toddle itself. And then AI will actually give inline feedback by adding comments on the different parts of the student work and things like that. So that's really the next step that we are building this for. This will be again available in the next few months. This is the feedback that this is based on the feedback that we received from some of our initial users. And the last thing that I want to showcase here is our report writing assistant. This is one of the first features that we had launched. This we had launched almost 2 years back, and I was looking at the data just yesterday. We have had more than 1.5 million comments now generated using our report writing assistant. And we have also gotten a lot of feedback on how we can potentially improve it. So I'm going to show you this new improved version of it. So here I'm writing Zoe's report. Let's say I am a science and technology teacher. I go in the comment box. Now I have two options here. One is I can click here and provide some broad strokes about the student. And based on the broad strokes that I provide, the AI will generate that comment. One thing that teachers asked for, a lot of you, is that you wanted more visibility on the context that is being passed to the AI for generation of these comments. So if you click on any student, now you will be able to see the context that is being passed. So what all is going into the AI comment. So you will be able to see it here. If you want to really see it in depth, it will blow up and you will be able to see it in depth here, and you can select what you want to include, what you don't want to include in the evaluation. We have also given the possibility for teachers to have their own voice and output structure here, and you can generate comments in any language that you want to. So this is one way where you can provide broad strokes. The other way is that you can just press on this button and it will auto generate the comment. It will analyze all the inputs, all the context that you have decided to share with it, and based on that, the AI actually generates the in-depth comment. And one thing that we have done, because we are now explicitly showing all the context that is being passed, we have also added citations here. So when these comments get generated, you will be able to see basis what has the AI actually generated this comment. So when it is saying her work shows a strong grasp of how living things grow, adapt, and survive, and she consistently brings creative flair and attention to detail to everything she does, here are the references for it: 1, 2, and 3. Based on these assignments or portfolio posts, this comment has been generated. So again, this really reduces the scope of hallucination and AI generating random comments for students, and it will generate very targeted, high quality comments. If you like it, you can accept it. If you don't like it, you can again work with the AI to change it further. This is one example where I just auto generated the whole comment. This is another example that I want to show you where I will provide it a bit more context, and I will say that Zoe has been amazing. She's always punctual, prepared, and takes pride in presenting herself well. She's quietly consistent in everything she does, and she's also a great friend and teammate. So here I, as a teacher, have provided this context to the AI, and now when I press enter, it'll analyze my input. It'll analyze all the context as well, and based on all of this analysis, will the final comment actually get generated. So we feel that, and this is again, I would say V2 of the product. This will keep getting better and better as the underlying technology also improves for us. So based on what I provided, the AI has actually generated this comment, and now it's done. So uh, I just wanted to showcase this because a lot of you had asked for these features, which is citations and also control on context and visibility on context. So we have now built it and are happy to be making it live. So that was those were all the features that we wanted to share with you. Just a couple of things more. If you remember, I had started this session with our big, hairy, audacious goal. I feel like we are getting closer to it. This is also based on real feedback that we get from teachers. So if you look at preparation as an area of work, based on that study that I quoted earlier, the average time that a teacher spend is about 11 hours there. With tools like Curriculum Design Assistant, AI-powered worksheets, we feel that we can deliver a lot of time saving to teachers while increasing the quality of work. And in evaluation and feedback, the time the teachers were spending 6.5 hours. With AI assisted grading, AI powered reports, AI tutors, we feel that again, a lot of time saving and teachers getting the time to spend on more meaningful things, which is direct interaction with students. We are also organizing a really exciting event in the next few weeks, and we would love for you to join this. I just request the Toddle team members to drop in the event link. Um, the event is called How Schools AI. It is a meetup for heads of school, curriculum coordinators, and tech directors. This is a virtual event, and the focus of this event really is how we keep learning truly human as we embrace AI, and we will have leaders from 8 different schools joining us and sharing practical examples of the kind of things they are doing in their schools to embrace AI in meaningful ways. Before I wrap up today, I would just like to ask all of our panelists one big question. How are you guys seeing the future of teaching and learning? How are you thinking about AI in your school? And how are you seeing the role of the teacher evolving in your own context? So whoever wants to go first.
I can go first.
Sure.
So I think for us, it's really with the support of AI, it's having that goal of personalization, individualized teaching, and with the scaffolds and the differentiated activities that AI can support teachers with, that can really boost our teaching. At EIS, I think the role of the teacher becomes a lot more challenging, and we have been very proactive in our approach in terms of AI. We encourage students to use AI for revision, for brainstorming, even for feedback for their own work. And our role now is really to teach students how to use AI appropriately, ethically, where students feel accountable. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, I'd say from our side of things, the thing that we always value is community and making sure that our students come through with a deeply personal connection to their education, that they can go out into the wider world to really make a difference. So when I look for that balance between students as co-constructors of their learning environments, and I saw one of the comments before in one of the chat things was, students actually being able to conceptualize their own learning pathways through, and you think about how rich a student's environment is already with the people who are here to care for them, with that time back that we're already looking at with some of these features. The other thing for myself is that teachers are architects of learning. They really understand the context of the students in the classes, and that's why they're in the role that they have. So we'd never want to abrogate that responsibility to these tools, but these tools are a superpower. They help us to understand really what our students' point of need is, to look for those interventions. And when we talk about whole school understanding, it's that agentic AI approach of I need to understand if I see a student is disengaging, what is the patterns that are emerging? What are the kind of things that I can see in terms of attendance, in terms of pastoral care, in terms of their academics, their co-curricular, and really sort of see that bigger picture. So the future of education, I think, is incredibly exciting.
Thank you. Thanks, Ian. Adam, any final thoughts from you?
I'm constantly reminded, or I remind myself, that the students that I teach are Generation Alpha, and even me personally, I have now lived through 2 major technological revolutions. I remember when the internet first became a thing, and now AI is a thing. And so when I'm constantly thinking of we kind of are always thinking, what do they need right now? And what I'm also trying to keep in the forefront of my mind is, what are they going to need in the future? What is it going to look like in 10 years? Like, what is it going to look like when my 10-year-old students go to university? Like, what is that? How can we best prepare them? And what tools are they going to need? They're not going to do research in the way that I did research. No one's like, those are completely different skills. And so every time I think about constructing a task for them, a research task, I think about, I'm not teaching them the way that I learned how to do it. I need to teach them the way that's going to best serve them in the future.
And that's such a difficult question. So I have a 4-year-old. I have 2 kids, 4 and 1, and the 4-year-old is the older one. And today was her first day of big school. So she started school here in Singapore. And even when I dropped her, I was coming back from school. Obviously, there was that worry of will she settle, not settle. Well, all of that was going through my mind. But then the larger question I was also thinking about is, given the way technology is changing, what are the kind of things that we as parents should be working towards building in our children? Thanks for that, Adam. Yeah. Great. I think that was all that we had for you today. In case you want to get a demo of the different AI capabilities Toddle offers, I think our team has already put the link down in the chat here, and we are looking forward to getting feedback from all of you on how this plays out in the class. I want to thank all of you for joining us. A special thanks to Adam, Ian, and Kevin for making their time, for being available for this session. Thanks also to my Toddle team members, Nick, Kripa, Ashna, and Misbah, who are there in the background answering all of your questions. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. See ya.